Welcome to Demasked. My name is Fresman, and today I'm joined by Dark Reeds. How are you today?
I'm doing good, man. How about yourself?
I'm doing very well. Now, for those who don't know you, what do you do on your channel?
So primarily I try to do creepy pastas, but I'm wanting to branch out to be more just video essays. Just from any sort of topic that I find interesting, honestly.
Do you have one of these up already?
No, but I'm editing one on the Ruby Ridge siege, actually.
Ah. Now, what sort of topics are you going to be leaning into in terms of those types of videos? Is it going to be horror content or more historical content?
So a little bit of both. Like I want to try to do a lot of like true crime type stuff, just because like specifically the creepypasta side of the internet's kind of gotten really stale for me over the past couple of years. Because I don't know if you've noticed, I haven't uploaded in like 2 years almost.
How long have you been doing YouTube for?
Since 2018, actually.
Really? What made you want to make videos?
Well, so I grew up in the age where like I was on YouTube around 13, so everybody wanted to be a YouTuber. So for a long time, I tried, being like a Markiplier, Jacksepticeye type clone. And then around 2018, I was just like, I'm listening to a lot of horror content. I could do that, and I really like it. So I gave it a try. Ended up, meeting a lot of great people in the community, and I just haven't left.
Well, you said making sort of Markiplier, Jacksepticeye stuff. So like scary gameplay and whatnot.
Yeah, there's still a channel out there that I cannot get deleted because I do not remember the password. Where it's got all of my old cringy videos of my awful thumbnails I edited on my phone. And there's one that my friends still send me all the time where I tried doing a hot sauce challenge and playing unfair Mario.
Oh, oh,
And my laptop was so awful at the time. It was running it at like 10 frames per second, and I was just so engaged.
that's giving me horrifying flashbacks to a video series I did 8 years ago.
So, we've all been there if you've been on YouTube for a while.
Oh yeah, I'll trade you the hot sauce because I did a drinking game.
Oh,
Yeah, it was a Half-Life opposing force on hard mode,
oh
but
my god.
but every time I die, I take a shot.
Oh god, you must have been just gone after like 20 minutes.
It's like I want to say it's 4 videos, and I did like 22, 23 shots,
Mm-hmm.
and I like, but I also made the cardinal mistake of not eating.
God, yep.
Like, I only had alcohol in my system.
You must hate yourself or something. Good lord.
Well, it was just poor planning on my part, and oh god, I remember, like, even nowadays, so it's even worse. My drink of choice, it
Mm.
wasn't straight whiskey or vodka or anything.
Oh.
It was it was Malibu coconut rum and chocolate liqueur.
Oh my god.
It
The sugar, that'll get you, man.
did get me.
I mean, I'll be honest with you. I did a Minecraft drinking game, but my liquor of choice is moonshine.
Oh shit.
Yeah, so that's a video that I have uploaded, but it's privated currently. Because within like 10 minutes, because I was playing like a mini game, and I suck at mini games in Minecraft. So every time I lost, I would take a shot. I did about half a bottle of Struggle and Shine, the apple peach or whatever it was called,
Oh yeah.
and I was not speaking English. I was screaming at the top of my lungs. Have you ever seen Trailer Park Boys when Mr. Leahy's in the vodka bath?
Yep.
That's how I was. I was a liquor snurf.
I there's a moment in that video series of mine where you can just hear me get drunk. It's like, oh man, this game's pretty good, and then not 30 seconds later.
You're trying to keep your head up. Just, I can do it. I got it.
Well, thankfully, how my room was set up at the time, my bed was on the floor directly behind my chair, and so, like, I hit the end of the video. I'm like, I gotta go, and I hit the hotkey to stop recording. I just turn around, and fall out of my chair.
Oh no. Yeah. On my Minecraft video, I couldn't even stop recording. I got up, fell asleep on the floor, woke up 2 hours later, and it still just kept going.
Oh, I just, that's one of the main reasons I'm not, well, I wasn't ever a big drinker, but I don't think I'll ever let myself get to that point ever again.
Oh, I know. I stopped drinking for a long time, and then recently, me and just one of my buddies decided why not. We're gonna get absolutely hammered, and this was the other night. I woke up. You know those hangovers that turn you into a prohibitionist.
Nobody should do this. This
Yeah,
should be illegal.
I woke up. I'm like, I get it. Like, I just ban it all. Throw it all in the river. I was
Well,
sick for 2 days.
Oh, well, that after recording all that, I did that all in one night, and the next morning I'd made a huge mistake, and it wasn't, oh, I'm gonna try to eat food. It was, I'm going to chug a giant cup of water,
Oh,
and my stomach went, no, 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 and I, I'm like, all right, time to start editing, and I'm trying to, like, through this horrifying hangover.
oh no.
And I get on a Discord call, and every couple minutes I keep hearing, like, "Are you all right? You don't sound good." I'm like, fine, shut up." And for some reason, during the middle of the day, my body decided to get sick again.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm on a call. I'm like, "I'll be right back."
Man, yeah. No, because I'm not drinking at least for like 2 to 3 months.
Yeah.
You know, I'm gonna go back to what every healthy person does: switch between drugs and alcohol. Joking about the drugs part for the most part. I just do edibles.
You know what? Fair. Man,
Yeah.
I need to go pick some of those up.
I know. I looked at my bank account earlier and I was like, I might get one. Got
Well,
this. Oh, sorry, my bad, man.
Oh, go for it. Go for it.
I was gonna say I got a dispensary here in town. Since they know me, they just start giving me free shit. They're like, "Hey, we got these new gummies in. You want one?" And I'm like, "Sure. How much is it?" "Oh, 175 milligrams." I'm like, "Oh, that's nothing."
I had a person give me a free, was it one of those activated resin pods for the pens?
Mm-hmm.
And it's real nice. like like that one.
Hi, Mandy. Since you want to be in the interview too, you got something to say? Oh, angry. Okay.
Oh.
Sorry about that. She kept screaming. I didn't know if you could hear her or not. So I figured, if she wants to be in the call so bad.
Yeah. Oh, that's gonna be on my audio. Great. Right as you said that, I hear my cat knock a cup off my counter in the bathroom.
Oh. You gotta love them despite the chaos.
I do, but I wish it. I feel like my cat's smarter than he lets on. Because, like, oh, he's fun and cuddly, and then the minute I'm not watching him, he's like, I'm gonna find the most expensive thing in this room. I'm gonna knock it over.
Oh, that's exactly what they're like. I remember right before the pandemic hit, I bought myself a nice $400 TV. Set it up on my thing. I was still living at my mom's house at the time, and her cat came up, looked at it, bunked his head into it, knocked it over, and split it in half. Essentially.
So, very thankfully, we got. I've just recently moved into the apartment that I'm in now, and my dad gave us this old, like, a hand me down, like an old plasma that still works.
Yeah.
and the thing's 200 pounds.
Oh my god, is it like one of those like old school, flat screens?
Yeah, like the old plasmas that can heat up
Oh,
a room.
I used to have one of those. It was my favorite thing.
And well, like I got it set up, and I saw my cat go behind it, and my girlfriend goes, "Is he gonna knock it over?" And I just went, "If he can move it, I'll be impressed.
Yeah, if he can knock it over, he deserves to have done it.
He can have the TV. Just
Now that's giving me a lot of nostalgia because I used to have one of those big old TVs, and I had it for about 15 years. It just stayed in my old bedroom, and it finally killed itself in 2020. I was watching. I think it was one of the old Batman movies. Like before Christian Bale and all that.
mm-hmm.
And all of a sudden, I just see a little smoke coming off the top of it, and I go, "Huh, that's not good." And then it just popped and turned off. So, in a panic, I unplug it and I just take it outside and I throw it into the yard. It's the middle of winter. I'm like, okay, you know what? This has got to do something. And you know how heavy they are. The fact that I booked it with it in my arms says a lot.
Oh. Oh. Well, was it me? The other day, me and my girlfriend were joking about, like, oh, what if somebody, breaks into the house? And it's like, well, if they can get that TV off the stand, then, like, you deserve it, man. Go for it.
Yeah, if you're willing to put in that effort, I'm not going to be mad.
If you've been weight training to move that TV, go for it. Oh. Yes, yes, Kitty. Can I help you? Yeah, I've got an L-shaped desk, so I'm facing the wall, and I look over my shoulder, and they're staring at the back of my head.
It's okay. The bed that my cat sleeps on is literally right to the right of me. I'm getting death glared right now, and I can just see it out of the corner of my eye. Yeah, she does not like being picked up, so she's not happy that I picked her up and brought her up to the mic.
What I enjoy doing is my cat likes to flop over on its side on the ground.
Oh my god.
So I'll just aggressively pet him.
Yeah, we do that to her all the time, because she'll come up and, she wants as much attention as you can give her. So we'll just nonstop just, rub it against her head, pulling her face back. Or I like to grab her by the cheeks. I start, scratching, side to side, just going, is this enough for you? Is this enough? And she's just like, help.
I for some reason started doing this thing where, in a complete monotone, start saying "sweetie baby," but while petting to the beat of me saying, so just "sweetie baby, sweetie baby, sweetie baby."
Oh my! Yeah, I gotta copy that from you. Then that sounds hilarious.
Say, I think he hates it. I think
it's a cat. What doesn't he hate?
Yeah. Well, my old cat, or my previous cat, used to hate butt pats.
Mm-hmm.
But I would do it on purpose as I was leaving for work.
Oh, man.
Just walk up, just I'll see you later, and then walk out.
Oh my god, yeah, no, my cats hate butt pats too, and it's the greatest thing.
And you said you had guinea pigs as well?
Yes, I have 2, actually.
Nice.
The first one I got for my girlfriend for her birthday back in November. And her entire family was like, guinea pig, engagement ring, I don't see how those are similar. So I guess I can tell what they want me to do in this next year.
Now you gotta go and just... you just gotta go, well, I'm buying another guinea pig.
Well, okay, so this was a couple of weeks ago. We noticed that our first guinea pig was really sad and lonely because, they're very, social creatures. So we're babysitting one of my girlfriend's family's friends' kid. And we're just we're gonna go to the pet store because, one, we need to get stuff for the cats and for the piggy. And he likes animals because he's 7 years old. How do you not like animals at that age? Well, we're sitting there. There's the cutest 6-week-old guinea pig that I've ever seen. I walk up to my girlfriend and I go, I'm buying this thing. And you can't stop me. She goes, which one? Show her. She goes, I would break up with you if you didn't buy her. So we walked out with another guinea pig, and now that baby is the most vocal thing I've ever seen, and she's stupid, but we love her.
I used to have a guinea pig myself a few years ago, and that I don't know how, but I somehow trained it to like start doing the wheat whenever I walked into a room.
Yeah.
Like dead silent the whole day, and then the minute I opened my door,
You know, my big one, Tootie, like the one that we've had for a while. All I got to do is just start singing like the name game song, and she's running to a specific corner. It's the same corner every time. Face just pushed through the bars, waiting for a treat. They are some of the most food-driven creatures, and I love them.
What are their names?
So the big one is Tootie, or Toupee. That's her government name, but like I said, we call her Tootie. And then the little one is Wiggs. So it's Toupee and Wig. But we call her Miss Wiggins.
Mine was Agamemnon or Aggie.
Yeah, you see, I wish I would I think of like, cooler names like that. Like I said, we literally sat there for 3 days with Tootie, not knowing what to call her. So we just called her Baked Potato because she looks like a baked potato.
That's weird that you mentioned that. 'Cause there's a dog I've been thinking of getting that my girlfriend's family has. Like they have a bunch of puppies.
Mm-hmm.
And I've come to call one Spud.
Oh my god! Wow, what breed are they?
I'm not entirely sure. All I know is that the one I picked, it has the fur color of a potato, and it looks like a potato because it's still a little puppy.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm just like, I'm gonna call this one Spud.
Oh my god! Yeah. As soon as we move out of this apartment that we're in, we plan on getting a Bernese Mountain Dog. Hey, my girlfriend's already got a name picked out. So she's not a Star Wars fan, but she wants to call him Kenobi, and they call him Kenobeef.
That's solid. I actually really like that one.
Now you see, like I'm the big Star Wars nerd. So as soon as she mentioned calling him Kenobeef, I straight up was like, "Yep, I'm gonna marry this woman."
For some reason, my cat's just. Hold on, let's see if I'm gonna. Future me in editing, you gotta put this into the video, but my cat's just staring soulfully out the window. What's out there, bud? What are you doing? But my cat's name is Moon.
Ooh, that's a pretty name, actually.
Yeah. Pretty cat. Donna's a sack of hammers, but it's a pretty cat.
Yeah, I've got 2 cats, actually. I don't know if I said that. So the first one who I've been talking about, who loves attention, is Mandy. She's about 15. Mm-hmm. Stupid. Like, very just one brain cell. The other one, who's about 17, Taffy, cutest thing in the world. She's khaki. Like, she's khaki in color. We think she's stupid, but also she shows signs of being intelligent. It's just like, she's got to pick one. She's got at least 2 brain cells, though. So definitely smarter than Mandy. And they hate each other. Like, we've had them for almost 10 years overall. Because they were my girlfriend's cats before I met her. And they can't stand each other. So we had to get them. Oh, sorry, my bad, man.
Oh, it's okay. Go for it.
I was gonna say we had to get them separate beds on the other sides of the apartment. And funny enough, from where I'm sitting, I could see both of them. And of course, they move their beds a little bit, and it's where they can see each other from whenever they're like wherever they're laying.
See, I love this cat. This cat's a good cat. But when I say he's dumb, it's not like, oh, he's occasionally kind of silly. No, I've witnessed him headbutt electrical outlets.
Yeah, Mandy will stare at a wall for hours.
Oh, oh no! The first, I want to say, week or so that I got him, I had to like stop him from accidentally like taking himself out. Like, please stop headbutting the sharp objects. Please get away from the electrical outlet.
Oh my god,
That is a phone cord. Please stop chewing on it.
yeah, I was whittling one day because I grew up in Tennessee, like I could be redneck as hell, so I'm whittling, just got my knife out. My girlfriend calls me. For some reason, I move my arm. I put my hand of the knife down. I look over. Mandy's on her way to headbutt into the sharp end of the knife.
Yep.
And my knife is pretty sharp because I like one of the things that I like to do is just sharpen it because I'm a little autistic and that's just something I like to do.
Mm.
So I see her and I'm like, no, put it away, get up, and I'm like, yeah, you're going to timeout. You're about to die.
I was doing something. Oh yeah, I was going to go clean the inside of my PC,
Mm-hmm.
and I hadn't unplugged it yet, but I had the side panel off, and there goes my cat trying to headbutt like the motherboard while it's still plugged in.
Oh no!
I'm like, no, and I just grabbed him like his entire body and pulled him back. Oh my god! And then I've got a switchblade on my desk.
Oh my god! Is
And
it
for some reason? What's up?
I was gonna say, is it spring loaded? Well, like all you gotta do is press a button, or is it like the assisted load or whatever?
It's the like the good old fashioned, like you gotta push one side of the blade down and it flips up.
Okay, cool.
Like the old like
Yeah, literally just pull out.
yeah. The problem is my cat likes knocking stuff off my desk while I'm asleep. And so I wake up and I'm like, okay, walk over to my desk. I look down and there's my switchblade open on the floor. I'm like, well. Mooney, are you trying to kill me? Nod or blink if yes. No? Okay. Just not gonna respond to what I said. Cool, got it.
Hey, you can never know his next move.
I've been so recently I bought an old I love antique stuff. I love thrifting.
Mm-hmm. Oh, me too.
And I bought an old cap gun, a Hubley cap gun, like an old revolver one.
Whoa.
Yeah. Found it for $20.
Shit. That's pretty cool.
But I've been joking with my girlfriend, like I'm gonna wake up and he's like gonna be pointing it at me or something.
Since you mentioned thrifting, like what's the coolest thing you've ever found? Like while thrifting and all that.
Well, where is it? There it is. So I'm holding in my hand, and it's my favorite piece to bring up out of context. I own a deactivated grenade.
Dude, that's awesome.
And it's my favorite pastime to pretend that it's still activated.
Oh.
Like I've checked, it's been fully cored out. It's just the shell and like the it doesn't have the pin or the lever, but it has the like the bracket that holds both of those.
Mm-hmm.
But no, it's just an empty shell.
So it's an American one, right?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
One of the old like pineapple ones.
Gotcha. Okay.
World War II.
My stepdad's gotten like an old German hand grenade from World War II.
Oh shit, the broom handle one.
Yes, it's one of my all time favorite things because he has a jewelry store back in Tennessee,
Uh-huh.
and it's just filled to the brim of old antiques, and it's just sitting there, proud as can be, right next to an authentic Nazi flag that flew in France.
Oh shit.
Like he's got an entire section that's World War II, and it's my favorite thing. I used to go over to his store all the time just to look at whatever new stuff he could find.
I there's a specific thrift store that I go to. That's and the funny thing is the one where I found the grenade is the same one where I found the cap gun. And but I love going there because the thing is everything is like, oh, Hello Kitty toys or like fun dolls from the 70s and whatnot, and then grenade.
Oh man, I'm just picturing like you just walking through and like it's like literally you got like the creepy porcelain dolls from like the 60s and 70s, like an old like 90s Hello Kitty board game, and then literally almost in Hello Kitty's lap is just that grenade.
It's damn close. The thing is, this was sitting in a case, not behind the register, but like off to the side.
Mm-hmm.
And how do I word it? There's this sort of thing that I do whenever I come across something dumb, where it's like, all right, I'm gonna allow myself to make one dumb purchase.
Hey, that's the way to do it. That's how you save money overall.
Yeah. But they were charging $50 for this thing because it's actually in really, really good condition.
That's almost worth it though.
Oh yeah. Well, the thing is, I'm like, I don't know, it's $50, and then as I'm standing there at the register, buying like I think it was like a card or something, and I'm just like, I'm gonna regret not getting it. I'm gonna get it. and then I brought I brought it home. I was living with my mom and my brother at the time, and my brother he loves like Call of Duty games and like the war shooters, Stalker and Fallout and all that.
Yeah.
And so he knows a little bit about guns, a little bit. And so I just it doesn't have the pin or the lever. So I just threw open the front door. I'm like, hey, guess what? And I just rolled it across the floor at him.
Oh, I would do something like that to my brother too, man. Honestly, I got like a really like 10 years ago now. I had like a really realistic looking airsoft gun. I sawed off the orange piece. Went into his room at like 4 o'clock in the morning, put it straight to his head, and started screaming at him. I'm like, I will fucking kill you. I will pull the trigger. I will do it. Now he just wakes up, starts sobbing.
Get out of there.
Like, if he didn't start crying, I wouldn't have felt bad, okay? But no, he's sobbing. Just, please don't do it, please. I'm like, oh. I'm like, okay, it's a toy. Here, look, toy, BB. I was hoping he would, just scream and, it'd be, like, real funny afterwards. No, he's crying. And I'm like, oh, no.
Like, my brother's was one of those. He's got the gas blowback ones, but he's got a really realistic looking Glock, and I just like every once in a while I'd be just sitting in my room, and how my desk was situated is like my back is to the door.
Yeah.
And he would just quietly open my door and just like he'd rack the slide just to scare the shit out of me.
Oh my god. Oh. That's like sorry, I can't speak apparently. I completely lost my train of thought.
So you're alright over there?
Yeah, no, like I said, sometimes I have so many thoughts that come into my head that they just leave just as quickly. Oh, I know. I was gonna say, like, do you do anything like with airsoft or anything like that, Or
I used to, um, but I've moved towards actual firearms.
yeah, fair. That's. I wish I could do that. I'm just poor.
Well, no, I only have the one,
Hmm.
but it's one that I've wanted for a long time.
Yeah, what is it?
It's a single action revolver,
Oh my god. Yeah, that's cool.
cowboy, full yeehaw.
That's cooler to what I want.
What'd you want?
I want it's the Taurus PT-92 AF. I know Taurus isn't like the greatest gun company out there, but the one I want specifically, it just looks so cool.
Said PT-92
Yep.
AF. See what this looks like. Okay, almost looks like a Beretta almost.
Yeah, it does look a lot like Beretta because, like I said, Taurus is like it's like the off-brand.
Yeah.
But there's like key differences between it and Beretta. Like honestly, if I'm getting something for self-defense, I'm going with Beretta. But the Taurus is something I like want just to have essentially.
Excuse me, I inhaled some water accidentally. Wow.
I've been taking baby sips of my water just to avoid that.
Well, I'm personally I'm a but personally I'm a revolver fan. I enjoy mechanical simplicity. Excuse me. Ah. But yeah, I figured I'd get one of these, and then a running joke with a buddy of mine is that I'm gonna get one for every caliber, just like ascending bullet size.
Oh my god. It means you need to get yourself that Smith and Wesson 500.
Oh yeah. Well, there was a day we were playing. Was it The Hunter? Have you ever played that?
No, but I want to play it.
So I specifically choose the most like infuriating loadout because like he and the other person we play with are like using the high tech rifles and the big scopes and whatnot.
Mm-hmm.
And for me, it's a double barreled shotgun with no scope and two revolvers of differing calibers. And I do catch things with them.
Oh, it doesn't matter the quality, right? Just as long as you get them.
Well, that and I was. So, do you know how big a 22 bullet is?
Yeah, not big at all.
So, in that game, I fought a moose with a 22.
Please tell me you somehow came out on top.
Oh yeah, I won. I was dancing around him the whole time. It was just like, and the whole time I'm yelling at my buddy. I'm like, how many 22s does it take to take down a moose? He's like, it probably like 40 plus. I'm like, all right, here we go.
Oh, man, honestly, yeah, that's something I would try to do in real life. Just because I'm stupid.
Well, I've been threatening him to like, because he's over in Texas, but I was joking like I'm gonna go hunting with you, but the stipulation is I only get to use revolvers the entire time.
I mean, hey, it works for Arthur Morgan. It can work for you.
Yeah. I've been I'm not gonna lie, I've been practicing my quick draw.
I mean, you have a revolver. How could you not? Like, that's the only thing I would do in my free time.
Well, once in a while, it's like, you know what? I do have, because I've got not the full belt, like the leather gun belt,
Mm-hmm.
but I have like the one that you like loop your belt through.
Oh, gotcha. Okay.
And so, but it does hang at the appropriate like height on my leg. And so I'm like, once in a while, if I'm just got home from work or something, I'm like, I'll practice my quick draw. See where that gets me.
God. Yep. No, like I said, that's exactly what I would be doing too.
I I I accidentally. You ever witness somebody accidentally talk during a movie?
Yeah, all the time, because I'm
I,
that
I
person.
I did that during one of the newer Halloween movies, but it's because of my taste in revolvers.
Oh my god, let me guess. You saw something and you were like, yeah, no, that's stupid.
Well, no, so I do not like hammerless revolvers.
Hmm.
I just don't like how they look at all, and I also don't like snub-nosed revolvers.
Oh man, see, that's where I'm different. I love snub nose.
But if you put the two together, gross. And so we're watching one of the newer Halloween films, me and my girlfriend, and somebody pulls out a hammerless snub-nosed revolver, and I out loud in the theater went, "Ah, gross."
Oh my. So my time of doing that. So I've got two great stories for you. Okay. First
Oh
time,
yeah.
me and my brother were watching Joker in theaters. So I'll just to set the scene. You know the scene where Joker, is on Murray's show,
Yeah.
and he's like, everyone's like, it's tense. Everyone's quiet. Everyone's like, scared to breathe. All of a sudden, you just hear, "Man, Mr. Police, your son's been hit by a drunk driver. He's dead." Me and my brother start cackling. It was so unfunny, it caught us off guard.
It,
It,
I, I feel that scene is so like gut-wrenchingly awkward that it becomes hilarious.
well, like I said, we were like, because we were in the same boat, like we were like too scared to do anything, because like I said, it's just so good at building that suspense. That awful joke came out of nowhere, and it just set something off. So we're cackling. There's this woman specifically who's right in front of us, turns around, the most genuine look of terror on her eyes. Because she turns around and sees these two big old fat white boys laughing at this. And I'm like, I know she read those articles saying that this is going to cause a mass shooting.
Oh yeah. Oh.
So we're cackling. We're trying to hold it in. And she's just like looking at us shaking. Just, no. Like she's like trying to find the nearest exit. And then the second time is I went to go see Endgame. And then, I'm going to say spoilers for it, even though it's been like 3 years. But, after Iron Man died,
Mm.
I'm crying, okay, because I grew up watching the MCU. It was real sad. All of a sudden, I see Jon Favreau. And if you've seen, iDub, Sophie Frank, and all them, you know where this is going.
Have you seen Chef?
I go, Chef, loudly. I didn't even mean to. I have tears in my eyes, and I'm just, Chef, and I start cackling too. Everyone's looking at me like, have some respect, and I'm just, my name's Chef. I leave, and I hear one guy go, have some respect, and I'm like, I do. I just can't help it.
When I when I went, oh my god, when I went and saw Endgame, for some reason there's a guy in the front row that felt the need to announce every superhero. But like, it wasn't, how I word it, didn't ruin the movie, surprisingly. Like, you'd see somebody's like, Iron Man, and then just that's it.
Mm-hmm.
And like every time we'd see somebody pop up on screen, it went from like us watching the movie to us watching the movie and like looking back down at him and waiting.
Oh,
He's gonna do it.
He must have had a field day with that final climax scene.
Ant-Man, Captain America, Falcon, just.
It's okay. When you know the movie The Nun.
Oh yeah.
Like, look, so she scared the hell out of me in The Conjuring 2. But when the movie itself came out, I'm watching it in theaters. First time, she got me a little, just because it was, it was just more so the fear from The Conjuring 2. 20 minutes into it, I realized she had a WWE theme song. Every time she's on screen, just, oh yeah. So every time I saw her in the middle of the theater, I would just go, and in this corner, weighed at 666 pounds. It got to the point where, like, the staff came in, they go, what are you doing? And I'm just like, this is awful. And everyone's like, yeah, this is funny, actually.
From parts unknown.
Yeah, I would go, Valak, the Destroyer, every time. And everyone would just start cheering in the theater.
My favorite ones are the guys that come in to check and, like, nothing's happened, nothing's been happening, but they're still, like, checking the whole audience.
You just sit there and you're just like, yeah, you don't get paid enough to care, do you?
Yeah. Well, was it back when, what was it called? Batman versus Superman came out?
Mm-hmm.
I went and saw it in the middle of the day where there's nobody.
Oh my god.
And so I'm a huge comic book nerd.
Yeah, me too. That's fair.
And so I'm laughing my ass off through most of that movie. Well, because I saw the interviews of, like, Zack Snyder, like, we made an entirely original story to tell. And I'm like, no, it is not. It is fucking Dark Knight Returns and Superman Doomsday wrapped into one story. You liar. And so I'm cackling as, Doomsday's doing his thing.
So my girlfriend is in the room, and she just decided to try to watch a video.
Hello. It's nice to meet you.
He said hi.
Hey.
She said hi
Hello.
back.
I thought my sound was a lot quieter.
Hello. But no, I'm cackling, but I'm entirely alone in the theater, and I'm sitting directly in the middle. And this usher comes in with a flashlight and is looking around. And I just went, hey man, how's it going?
Yeah, I went to go see Insidious when it first came out.
Mm-hmm.
Same kind of deal. Middle of the day, nobody was there. So, it was just me and my brother. Because we go see movies a lot together.
Mm-hmm.
We're just talking about our thoughts of the movie, because like I said, we're genuinely the only people in there. This dude walks in, looks around, sees we're the only people in here, walks up the steps, comes up to us, goes, you guys need to stop talking, we're going to have to kick you out.
For what?
And I loudly go, I'm sorry, am I bothering all of you guys in here? Obviously no one replied, and my brother just goes, yeah, you're bothering me. And the guy goes, well, doesn't matter if it's empty, it's still theater policy. And I'm just like, dude, go away, you're making like $8 an hour. And I feel bad, talking down to people like that, but like, you know what I mean? Like, come on.
Like, especially if, like, there's nobody else or very few people, like,
Like, I would understand if there was anybody else in the theater, specifically. Like, even if there was just one other person. Like, I would get it, because, like, I could be bothering their movie. But we were the only two people in there. Because, like I said, it was 10 a.m. on a Wednesday.
like, see, I love those movie going experiences where you're entirely alone.
Mm-hmm.
Because I love making jokes that, like, as soon as I walk out, they're like, how's the movie? I'm like, the other guy in there wouldn't shut the hell up. But, like, nobody's behind me. Nobody's left other than me.
God. Yeah, no, I actually convinced someone about something similar to that. Like, I was in the middle of the movie. I was completely alone, just because I don't remember what it was, but I was the only person in there. I left, and they're like, they're asking me, like, hey, how was the movie and all that? I'm like, oh, it was good, except there was this person who just kept, like, they were, like, hunched over in the corner, and I couldn't see what they were doing, but it looked like, they were, going to town. So they, like, call security, everyone goes in there, and I book it. Because I'm like, I don't want to be around when they find out I was fucking with them. All of a sudden, I come back like 2 weeks later, and they're just like, hey, I remember you. I'm like, oh, like why? They're like, yeah. What the fuck is wrong with you? There was nobody in there. And I'm like, I could have sworn I saw someone in there.
Why did you fall for it?
Like, they should have known that there was nobody else in there, considering they had, like, there was an employee who was just sitting there the entire time. And there's also a theater that you have to, like, pick your seat so they could see what seats are taken.
Yeah, I was gonna say there would be like a sort of receipt in their system of like how many people went in.
Mm-hmm. And I'm just like, you could have easily have looked that up or asked the guy who was in there. As far as I knew, they never asked him. They just took the word off of some like 16-year-old obvious edgelord.
I don't understand people. I don't get it anymore.
I mean, it makes for great moments because, like I said, sometimes people are just so gullible.
It's just, well, granted, they probably run into some BS so many times that.
Oh yeah, and, one of my friends used to work at that same theater.
Mm.
He said that he would find like used condoms in the back area.
Ah.
And like they cleaned the theaters in between like in between movies. So he goes like, I cleaned that theater before that movie started. He goes, that wasn't in there. And he knows it was these two people who we thought were a mom, like a mom and son essentially. Like that's the age difference. Like they were, like one woman was like obviously older and he was obviously younger.
Mm-hmm.
And they were the only people in that row.
One's 20 and the other's like 50.
So he's like, good on him, but like, come on, pick up after yourself.
Good for you, but why?
But also, like, why are you going to go see, Paddington 2 having sex in the back?
I was gonna say, I'm like, who does that during Requiem for a Dream? What kind of sick bastard? Oh my god. Like, well, that and like, how do I word it? Specifically during that whole Joker craze of like, there's gonna be something that happens in the theater or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
Usually I'm not one to follow these types of stories, but for about a half a second I'm like, yeah, maybe. Like, but I had that thought in the theater during the movie.
Yeah, I know. So where I grew up, there was a theater shooting about like 10 miles from where I lived. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And this is like maybe 2 weeks before Joker like started, like those stories started appearing.
Mm-hmm.
So I remember thinking nothing of it for the entire spiel of it. Okay. Like the 2 to 3 week build up until the movie came out in theaters. Yeah. I go sit down in the theater, and I'm like, "Oh shit, this is gonna happen to me." I just know it. Because like my mom's the one, like, she's one of those people who takes everything literally. She's like, she's like, okay, I need you to carry this. She gave me her taser. She has a bear taser because she goes hiking a lot.
Oh shit!
So this thing, it's meant to put down a brown bear. Mm-hmm. She goes, take this. I'm like, Mom, I don't need it. Take it. Okay, I'll take it. And I'm just sitting there thinking, like, I might have to use this tonight. And I don't ever get like that. Like I said, I'm just, oh no, what if? Same thing happened in 2012 with the Mayan apocalypse.
Yep.
That one of my best friends came over and spent the end of the world at my house. And we're all just sitting there like, we were, like, oh, we got school the next day. But wait, what if, though?
I remember going into school the day after that whole apocalypse thing was supposed to happen. And one of the kids in my class goes, "This apocalypse is really boring."
I remember walking in, and the first thing we hear is, "Yep, we got a pop quiz," and I went, "No, this is the end of the world."
No, no.
And then
Is this hell? Am I in hell?
I died and I went to hell. Oh God.
Well, I remember, like, was if I remember in my area, this like, oh, it's gonna occur at 5 p.m. on the Pacific Coast. And I'm like, all right, guess I'm gonna sit here and watch the clock and see what happens. And it hit 5 p.m. and I look out front. I'm like, well, nothing. Cool. Turned on the Xbox.
And then because you live out there, I remember hearing stories of how the coast we're gonna the ocean's gonna swallow the entire western seaboard, and I'm just oh, I guess I'm safe where I live. We don't got any earthquake lines. We got nothing. The worst we're gonna get is a bad thunderstorm.
Well, specific to the area I live in, we don't get tornadoes, hurricanes, really any major weather event outside of snow.
How bad is the snow up there, actually?
It's not in my area. It's not bad. We had one cold snap a couple weeks ago that it got pretty bad, but those are once a year.
Yeah, lucky. I live up in rural Wisconsin right now. Currently, I can't look out my living room window because there's just snow.
For us, it's just it probably should be snowing, but it's been just raining like crazy.
Yeah, I'm gonna say I guess because up here we got a lot of the lake effect, so it causes even more snow. I'm gonna guess with the ocean being so close and it bringing in that more humid, warmer weather, I guess that probably could affect it a bit differently.
Well, I just a buddy of mine from years ago lives over in Florida, and I was on the phone with him during one of the major hurricanes.
Mm-hmm.
And you could hear his whole house just getting the shit kicked out of it, but his house was reinforced and built for that.
Yeah.
And so you could hear shit slamming into the windows and whatnot. And I go, "Hey man, just move to Oregon. You can literally stand on the mountain and just laugh at the coast as they get hit with the weather."
No, I will say that's one thing I do enjoy about being up here specifically, because we don't get tornadoes up here. Like I said, the worst is ice storms, which then we just stay inside.
Mm-hmm.
And then if God forbid if our heat goes out, there's other places in town that we can go to.
I just with that snow, I unfortunately got stuck at my job at that point.
Oh, yeah.
Well, the thing is, how do I word? I understand people's faith in the weather app, being able to look at your phone and see what temperature it's going to be.
Mm-hmm.
But there's something specific to Oregon that you must learn if you're going to live here, which is you cannot predict the weather here.
Oh my god, yeah. I use my weather app as a guide to how the day's going to be, but I don't believe it till I step outside.
Well, usually it's hey, it says it's going to be freezing today. It's all right, probably it's either going to be not freezing at all or it's going to be double as bad as what it's saying on there.
But also, it all depends on if the sun's out,
Oh yeah.
One day he said it was negative 15. Walk outside, it's almost warm because the sun was just beating on you.
Well, the thing is here, the sun doesn't matter.
Fair.
It can be raining and there's not a cloud in the sky, and you're where the fuck is it coming from? And but I got stuck. So I should mention currently I'm walking with a cane because I hurt my back and I have to use a cane to walk.
Okay, gotcha.
And I got sent to a class for my job that's a good, I want to say, not 40 minutes drive, but I public transportation.
Mm-hmm.
And when I arrived, it started snowing. I'm okay. It's snow probably will be gone. And then even my instructor's like, "Oh yeah, it'll be melted by the afternoon." And then we go look out there on break, and it's sticking to the roads and people's cars. I'm like, oh no.
It is not gonna be gone.
Yeah, I'm like, it's not slowing down. The flakes are getting bigger. Hey, we might need to leave early. I'm like, no, it'll be fine. It'll be gone by the time the class is over. We check during lunch, and it's like 4 inches of snow. I'm like, I don't know. And finally, they relent and let us go early, and I had to walk with my cane all the way back to the bus station.
Ooh. Walking through it normally would suck.
Yeah. It took, so a 40-minute excursion took me 4 hours to get home.
Oh my gosh.
I got trapped on a train.
Yeah, no, see, up here, where I live specifically, like, I live in, like, a really small little town where, like, honestly, like, we don't have any, like, those, like, modern, like, like, modern convenience type stuff, like, close by. Like, we don't have a Walmart or anything like that. We have a grocery store, but, like, it's cheaper to go to Walmart.
Sure.
But it's, like, 30 minutes away. So it's every day, if I want to go somewhere, it's a 30-minute drive there and a 30-minute drive back.
Gotcha.
So about 2 years ago, I was because I've lived up here for about almost 3 years now. I was working in a town that's about 45 minutes away. There was a snowstorm that was supposed to come in that day, but it wasn't supposed to hit us that bad. Okay. So I called and I go, hey, I don't know if you just heard that. That's Miss Wiggs, the little one. Anyways, I called and I'm like, hey, do you guys want me coming in? There's supposed to be a snowstorm. Like, yeah, it's not supposed to be that bad. Come on in. Well, I'm like, hey, babe, can you take me to work? Because you have more experience on these roads. Because she's a local. She's lived up here her entire life. She goes, yeah, sure, I'll bring you. She goes, just in case if it's worse than what they think it's supposed to be. She goes, I don't want you getting stuck because you might get hurt. Well, we drive up to work. It's fine the entire way up. It's like a little dusty and all that. I go into work. 10 minutes later, about 2 feet of snow show up.
Oh.
And it kept going. And they refused to send me home, too. So I worked a full 8 hours. And it was actively hard snowing that entire 8 hours.
Yeah.
So my girlfriend's coming up, and she, we get to the car, and she goes, hey, yeah, so, I almost died getting here. You would not have a chance in hell to get home. So we start taking the long way home because it's a straight shot. So it normally would take about 45 minutes. Took 2.5 hours. And like I said, we're like going like 40 on in a 50 area, and then we're going down to like 20 miles an hour through some parts because there would just be so much snow you couldn't see in front of you. You definitely can't see the roads because it's all white. And that was the day I called my mom and I go, I'm thinking about coming home.
So my girlfriend made the smart. So my girlfriend drives. I don't. But they made the smartest decision I've seen all day, which was, hey, there's a couple inches of snow and it's not slowing down. I'm gonna head home. And they go, cool. It's solid because they work all the way, like way downtown. And so it would be a hell of a drive to get back.
Oh yeah.
But I'm stuck at that location over in Gresham, and they keep going like, do you want me to pick you up? I'm like, no, you get home and you stay there. Like, don't come get me. I will get home. I don't want you out in this. and even like the last stretch of it, because they're from Texas, so they usually don't get it as in certain areas. I think where they're from specifically, they don't really get really bad snow. And so not really used to driving in snow. So every step of the way, hey, do you want me to pick you up? No, I will meet you at home. please do not leave the house. Await further instructions.
Oh my god. But I would say I get it. Like, because growing up where I did, before I moved up here, I had 15 like total snow days. 2 of them, I was actively driving with. So my first like actual like snow that I had to drive through, like terrified me. I still don't like driving in the snow. So if I get like, look, if someone says, "Hey, stay home, I will handle it," I'm like, okay, I'm not gonna risk my life because like I will probably die. Especially if it's someone who has been up, and driving in these conditions for a while. Like I trust your judgment more than I could trust mine. You do you.
Well, like for me, it's dependent on the car that the person's driving.
Yeah.
Like if they're like, "Oh, I'm gonna head to the store in the snow," and they've got like a truck, sure, go for it. But my girlfriend has a compact.
All that matters is it all wheel or 4-wheel drive.
It's nope,
Oh, yeah, no. That stays home.
Yeah, I'm like, you get home, you fucking stay there. I will meet you at the front porch. And what's funny is we live near like a convenience store, and they're like, I can meet you at the 7-Eleven nearby. I can meet you there. I'm like, nope, you just stay there. Like, I'll be fine. You just stay there. I know how to walk in the snow. It's fine.
Yeah, no, at that point, don't risk it.
Yeah. Lest you slip, fall, and end up walking with a cane like me.
One's already enough. We don't need another one.
Yeah, I can't carry you home.
Excuse me. So my cat just whacked me.
Oh, what'd you do?
I guess I wasn't giving her attention.
You weren't keeping a constant eye.
I look down and I see her and I go to pet her and it just whack and booked it. Wow, they keep you young.
My cat likes to, like, they'll flip over on their back, grab your foot, and bite your ankle.
Oh my god. Yep,
But the thing is, with my injury, I can't feel my legs.
So you ever just like look down and your cat's just going to town and you're just like, oh.
I just feel this gentle tingling and I look down and it's like, oh. Thanks, Mooney. I appreciate that.
When I was a freshman in high school, I broke my wrist really badly in football practice.
Mm.
And it pinched a nerve. And because the doctor I had was super incompetent, I have permanent nerve damage in my right hand.
Ooh.
So I can't feel it sometimes. Well, I was getting... This wasn't one of my cats I have now. This was one of my cats back when I was still living in Tennessee.
Mm.
I look... my cat Pedro, he's a fighter. He will bite the hell out of you. He'll scratch the hell out of you. All that fun stuff.
Mm.
I had my hand down in the middle of the night while I was sleeping. And the saying, you don't want to have a foot over the bed because, the demon will come and get you. He's the demon.
Yeah.
He will attack you, anything that's hanging off. All of a sudden, I start feeling something tugging at me, and I, look down. Teeth digging into my hand, and I did not feel it. There's blood coming out, and I'm just like, oh, that's probably not good.
Oh.
And he's a big
Ow.
boy, too. He's built. So he's strong, and you're just like, oh. I probably need to go get that cleaned.
In my current state, the numbness is at my belly button and down.
Mm-hmm.
And he likes to hop up on my lap and once in a while he'll claw me. But since that injury occurred, I'll go to get changed. I'm like, why am I covered in cuts? What happened? Right, cat. That's what did it.
Well, I'll say at least you haven't had something similar to what happened to me. I was working at Home Depot in 2018.
Mm.
I worked in the lumber department specifically, and I was using their box cutter because they gave us box cutters, and I was cutting one of those metallic bands. I don't know if you've used a box cutter. I don't know what you do for work, but they're not sharp at all.
Oh yeah.
Like, they're good for tape and paper, but that's it.
Mm.
So I'm trying to cut through this metallic band, talking to a young couple and their very young daughter. The box cutter flies off, and it's supposed to retract the second you're not holding it, but it didn't. And it flew right into my right hand. Stabbed me deep. And I, look at it, I kind of pull it out. I didn't realize that I had stabbed myself. Like, I was kind of in shock. And I'm like, sorry about that. So I'm, moving my hands. All of a sudden, the little girl starts screaming. And I go, huh? And I look down, because I knew it was about my hand. I don't know how I knew, but I knew. Blood is gushing, squirting out of my hand. And I looked at him and I go, excuse me for 1 second. I casually walk into the bathroom. I start washing it. Not stopping it, obviously, because, like I said, it's gushing. I go into my manager's office. I go, can I get a Band-Aid? She goes, you don't need a Band-Aid. Go to the hospital. And I'm like, I think I'm good. So I just got some gauze and I put it on there and I duct taped it. And then I went home. And then my mom, who's a nurse, looked at me. She goes, you gotta go to the hospital. And I go, I don't want to. So I just professionally wrapped it. Because she has all that stuff on hand. And because I never got stitches for it, my hand is deformed in that spot.
Ooh.
I've got, a really big, ugly scar. That could have... I would have had a scar no matter what. But not as ugly and big of one.
I used to have the scar on my forearm. It's thankfully faded some, but I like to, my favorite thing is to introduce a story without any context. So I just like to say that I got in a fight with Santa Claus.
I gotta hear this story now.
See what I mean? But no, I used to work at Walmart. Whee! That place is a fucking nightmare. But
Gotta love them.
Oh yeah, but they had those big signs for Christmas. It's like, how many days till Christmas? That sort of thing. It's a little sign, holds the little numbers. Well, at the end of the Christmas season, you gotta throw it away, and for some reason, it's just big enough that it won't fit into the cardboard baler.
Also, I'm guessing you were trying to compact it a little bit.
Well, I figured I'll just tear it in half.
Oh.
And so I go and I grab Santa by the middle and I go to shear him in half. And one of the rails that holds the number goes zip on my forearm.
Oh.
And I didn't feel it. And so I toss it in there. And, I'm watching Santa get crushed as per a holiday season. And I turn back to my coworker. And he's gone pale. And I go, what? And he's like, your arm. I'm like, and I look at my right arm. I'm like, it's fine. What? And he's like, your other arm. And I look, and it's my whole forearm is red.
Oh my god.
And then it's like, oh, well.
Yeah. So going back to my broken arm that happened, that caused my nerve damage. When I broke it, I remember falling, hearing a crunch, and then my arm was super heavy feeling.
Oh.
And I got up, and I just walked up to my coach, and like I said, I'm 14 years old.
Yeah.
And before this, I literally cried over a hyperextended knee. That's just how, weak I was at that time. So to go from that to what about to happen is hilarious to me. But I walk up to my coach, and I go, Coach, I think something's wrong with my arm. He looks at it, and he gasps so loudly. And I look at it, and I'm not looking at it. I'm for some reason looking just past it. I can't focus on it. But apparently, my wrist was completely limp because my wrist turned to powder after I fell. I broke up. So you got two bones in your forearm. One of them was just broken. The other was pushed so far out, it almost broke the skin. And that's what I learned. Your skin is somewhat translucent. Because you could see the bone. It just hadn't broken the skin.
Oh, yeah.
So, I'm like... they take me up on the gator to the front of our football field and all that. They'd call an ambulance. And, like, my homeroom teacher is he's a softball coach. And they're doing practice at the same time. He sees me. He goes, hey, what are you doing? And I'm just like... I broke my arm. He looks, he goes, oh my god, your arm is the shape of an S. And I'm like, oh, sick. So they had called my mom. She meets me at the hospital. This entire time, I guess I had enough adrenaline in me that I hadn't felt it. So I'm fine, okay? Like, I'm, like, my heart's racing a lot. But my mom sees my arm and starts crying. So I start crying because my mom is crying.
Mm-hmm.
And then the second I start crying is when I felt all of the pain.
Oh.
So then I start sobbing because it hurts so much. They bring me in there, and I'm still wearing like my pads and my practice jersey and all that because they didn't want to take it off and risk hurting my arm.
Mm-hmm.
And they're like, so hey, we can't take it off without cutting and damaging it. Like, they could take the pads off because I don't know if you've ever worn football pads before.
Yeah, just over the head.
Yeah, they've got like straps on the side.
Yeah,
So yeah, there's like no like real sleeve things. So they could take that off, but they can't take off my practice jersey. And I'm like, I don't want you to cut it because I don't want to get in trouble. All of a sudden, my head coach walks in and goes, "Damn it, cut the jersey off. We don't care about that." I'm just like, okay, cut it off. And then, like, to this day, like, I get text messages from, like, my old teammates going, hey, coach, I think something's wrong with my arm. I was like, that's what I get remembered for. Cool.
That's your stake in history right there. That story is making my... I've only ever fractured one bone, and it was not the knuckle connected to your palm, but the second knuckle.
Mm-hmm.
But on my ring finger.
Ooh.
And so, as you're describing that, I'm like, man, my hand hurts.
I have permanent damage on my wrist, too, by the way. Like, my wrist formed lower than it's supposed to be. And so, because of that, like, I constantly am in pain from it, and let's see if you can hear this. Like, you hear that crunching?
I think I heard the start of one, and then Discord took pity on me and covered it.
Every time I move my wrist, it crunches a little. And if I don't pop my wrist at least once every now and then, it gets stiff and like it hurts like crazy. But other than that, I got full range of motion back. My growth plates didn't close, which I got really lucky for.
Nice.
In terms of, extreme injuries, it was best case scenario.
I'm just sitting here like moving my hand around. I'm just like,
Oh no! I do one thing where I scare the hell out of people because of the way my wrist formed. I can like bend it in a weird angle.
Mm-hmm.
So like I can like completely lay my hand flat, like on its side, like the thumbs up way, and then bend it so like where my arm looks like it's about to touch my thumb. And that doesn't hurt me. It does if I do it for extended periods of time. But I scare people all the time when they see it for the first time. Like the first time I started working out after I got my cast taken off. My coach, he likes to push people, but he doesn't want to push you past your actual limits. Like, you've got like your limits that you're comfortable with, but then your actual physical limit that you can't go past.
Yeah.
So he was trying to get me, and I was doing something that was just a bit too heavy. So I ended up, like, my wrist gave out and I dropped it. Well, I thought to myself, what would happen if that was the time I decided to pull that prank? So I go, coach, and I'm like holding it because like I can if I let my arm go limp while I'm holding it up, it kind of does the same thing, but it looks broken. So I'm like, oh, I go, coach, something happened. He goes, oh my god. He tells everyone to stop, and I'm like, I was gonna start laughing, but I'm like, no, it's okay. I ended up having to run laps for an hour because of that. Like I said, I thought I was just being funny, you know, it was, you know, like just a practical joke. Nope, I about set this man off onto a panic attack.
See, the thing is, I had the opposite thing of like fractured my finger, and then the guy didn't believe me. I'm like, hey man, I might need to go to the nurse. Something's wrong with my finger. And he was like, you're fine, you're fine. and and like, not only did the bone fracture, like, you know how like your tendons kind of give up at that same time.
Yeah.
So I was able to bend my ring finger back 90 degrees
Oh.
at that knuckle.
Yeah.
And I look at him and I go, like, I'm still in shock, and I bend it back. I'm like, I don't think it's supposed to do that. None of my other fingers do that. And he just kind of goes, yeah, okay, go to the nurse.
He's just, okay, I guess.
Yeah. And even the nurse is like, what's the problem now? I'm just like, finger might be broken. I'm like, oh, okay, we're gonna call your dad. I'm like, cool. Sounds good, I'll sit here.
So something similar happened to my little brother. So he took on weightlifting, like the same class that I had and all that.
Mm.
So there was this one kid who was power cleaning. Yeah, if you know what that technique is. You know, it starts off on the ground. So. You lift it up, you shoot underneath, and then you squat with it while it's in your arms. Well, they were transferring the weight, and a 45-pound weight went rogue. It started rolling, so my brother tried to catch it, but right when he did, it fell, and it was 45 pounds right onto his ring finger. And it almost, like, it was a really bad... He can't even straighten his ring finger out to this day.
Yeah.
But, like, the tendons tore, the muscle tore, it was completely detached. And he has it happen, he falls over and starts screaming, because, like, that's gonna hurt. So my coach walks up, the same one who I had pranked, because I love this man to death. He was, he was a great coach. Walks up, looks at him, he goes, yeah, no, we're calling you an ambulance right now. They go and they're like, yeah, if your coach hadn't been as quick thinking, you would have lost your finger.
Oh.
Because, like I said, like he immediately, like, because he took sports medicine in college. My coach did. Mm. Immediately, put ice onto it. He, I can't remember what, he put a splint on it too, which already forced it to try to start healing, pretty much.
I want you to know, this entire time I've just been like rubbing specifically my hand that I fractured on my leg. Just
Oh, it's okay. Every time I talk about it too, I start feeling like it gets like real, like I become real aware of like the minor pain that it's in. It's like, oh yeah,
hyper aware of how much your bones are shifting.
It's like, that's not fun. I'm gonna say, I think one of my favorite things is this is supposed to be, a conversation about, like, YouTube and all that. It's been over an hour. We've talked about it for 2 minutes, maybe.
Oh no, that's the sole purpose of the show. There's no plan. There's no script.
Oh, sick. That I'm just glad that I'm ADHD enough to keep going.
The image I like to give guests is that it's a car perpetually flying off of a cliff.
That's actually a really great, description of what's happening so far.
Sure, you may be behind the wheel, but there's absolutely no control.
I mean, you've had one cat who attacked me. You have my guinea pig, loudly announce that she was here. My girlfriend tried to watch a video behind us.
I was gonna say, I heard that through the Discord.
So my girlfriend decided to take her out of the cage, and took her into the bedroom. Well, she was taking her back, and I guess she saw me, and just had to announce to the world that she saw me.
You!
Oh.
But you know what? With that, I mean, we've crested an hour 20, but I think this actually is a solid place to bring it to a close.
Yeah, absolutely. It was great talking to you.
Yeah, Dark Reads, thank you for coming on. This has been an absolute blast. I've enjoyed not only attempting to ask about YouTube, but also getting to know you better through life experience.
It was,
But
hopefully, it was an entertaining enough story.
yeah, but do you have, for the wonderful party people at home, do you have a video on your channel that you're particularly proud of that you'd like them to see?
Um, so it's not out as of right now, but it will be.
Mhm.
Like within the next couple of days, it'll be my Ruby Ridge video.
Okay,
I'm gonna get edited into it like tonight and all that.
sure. And once this video comes out, I'll put the link to yours in the description of this here video so the party people at home can see it.
All right, well, sounds good.
Yeah. And wonderful party people at home, thank you for stopping by and listening to us discuss injuries and whatnot.
Old men reminiscing on the past.
Yep. But I do have one last question to close this out, and it's a question I ask every guest,
All right, what's up?
and that is, if asked, would you be open to coming back on as a return guest?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Absolutely not. No.
This was actually the worst experience of my life.
Oh God. I worry about that with every interview. I'm like, oh, I hope they're having fun, please.
So yeah, look, if it makes you feel better, yeah, no, I'd be happy to come back on.
Awesome. But thank you again, Dark Reads, and wonderful party people at home. There will be links for you to check out Dark Reads' channel. Please go check him out. Pretty please. But with that, this has been Demasked. My name is Fresman, and I'll see all of you next time.